Hello and welcome to Inspect, a show about web design and development. My name is Ajay and with me as usual is Kay.
How's it going?
I'm all right. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good. Today's episodes we're going to be talking about work-life balance and the things that we do to unwind and relax. And hopefully we'll have some recommendations of ways you can do it as well.
Yeah.
So how's work at the moment?
Work's really busy at the moment, mate. It's absolutely crazy. I'm just snowed under, getting a lot of stuff done because I'm putting the extra hours in. But yeah, it is. It really is stressful at the moment.
So this is the ideal topic. How are you going to unwind this weekend now?
Yeah, I've been getting it. So I've been seeing the notes that you've made in the program file and stuff, and about family and hobbies, and I've only just managed to get some. Make some time for certain things like that this week. So it's a bit crazy.
Yeah, I think this will be a fairly short episode compared to the previous few. But you never know. We'll see how it goes. But I figured we could split it into two halves. So we could do a bit about actual balancing work and life, just as freelancers or as people working from home.
Yeah.
And then just generally what you do to sort of forget about work and how you unwind and how you spend your weekends and just non-work related stuff that you tend to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that sounds all right.
Okay, cool. So the first thing I've got is like managing your time, really, because when you're working in an office, you've got strict times that you're there. Everyone sort of has set hours on there. You tend to do 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, or whatever it is, 9 to 5. But then, although I do a couple of days at home, I do stick to those times because obviously I'm working with another team as well, who are all sticking to that time. But how do you find it when you're working on your own? Are you trying to stick to a time schedule, or are you just a bit flexible, see whatever suits you on the day?
I try to stick to a time schedule. So, I try to give a client a window where they know I'm available. So for them, my availability is between 9 and say 6 p.m. But in saying that, I carry on working. So there might be occasions where I'm up a bit earlier to get certain things done. So I might be up at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock and I'll be cracking on with stuff. And I'll be, working on through well past 6 o'clock and working till the late hours. So for the client, there is a window because I don't want clients getting in touch with me because a lot of them do. They'll reach out after hours. I'll get phone calls. I'll get the odd WhatsApp message or an email requesting for something to be done, or, and it gets a bit crazy. So giving them that window kind of helps me to manage my day, if you like, between those hours. Yeah.
So when you are working out of hours, I suppose, how is that? Do you find that's affecting your personal life then? Are you constantly being called upon to, come and spend time with the family or with other friends and stuff like that?
Yeah, I get that all the time. I'll give you an example this week, last week as well. My wife wants to spend time, after work. So you want to watch a film, watch a bit of Netflix, just, me time where we can just spend time together and do stuff together. And we don't need to go out or anything like that. It's literally just to be together and just, kind of exchange notes on each other's kind of like, day and week and things like that.
Yeah, just hang out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And to be fair, that hasn't really happened like last week or this week. Is because I'm just been so busy, and she's been busy as well. So she's been at the gym early in the morning, going to the gym in the evenings, and I managed to get a five-a-side game in today. I like playing a bit of football. So it's not been great. So it's about making the sacrifices as well, and it kind of works both ways. So at the moment, this current, last 2 weeks and this week, I haven't had time to balance anything. It's just been crazy. Managed to get the football in, but yeah, that's it. But hopefully next week I'll be able to, manage the workload a bit better because some of the projects are coming to an end now. So I'll be able to, find that time and space. Yeah.
Have you got a plan of what you might change in order to get a better balance?
I think probably put a cap on the number of clients I'm taking on, and probably get a bit stricter with my working hours. So try not to spend too much time during the evenings. on project work, especially for clients. I think personal development probably a bit more important, but client work, late hours of the evening, probably give that a miss, and just flip that during the day. Maybe get up earlier and focus on that stuff earlier in the day.
Yeah, it's definitely important to have a time box day, because the days that I do work from home, although I do get up quite early, the same time I would get up if I was going to the office before actually starting work, because I do start at 9. I tend to have about an hour and a half to myself in the mornings.
Right.
Once the rest of the family's out of the house and gone to work and school and so forth. So in that 1.5 hours, I tend to get a lot of either personal stuff done. If I'm going to do a bit of reading, sometimes I'll just sit and read, or if I want to watch a bit of TV, I'll try and do that then in the morning.
Right.
And then come 9 o'clock, I'll be at my desk and then I'll crack on.
Yeah.
And then I try and take breaks at the right times as well. Try and have my lunch at lunchtime, and I try and sort of do an hour or so of work before I take a short break, and then maybe another hour, and then take a 5-minute break, 10-minute break, have a cup of tea or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I do try and make sure I finish at the right time as well. Sometime between 5 and 5:30, depending on what the day's like. Sometimes on Fridays it tend to finish a little bit earlier because things have died down around 4 o'clock. And then by then, the come 5:30, 6 o'clock, that's when the family's coming back home from their works and schools. And then that's it. Work is over. And
work's over, yeah.
It just creates that very clear break in the day that this is morning time where I've got some time to myself. From 9 till 5:30, I've got work. And then come 5:30, I just switch off. And
I think that's healthy.
I try not to get back onto the computer again in the evening, unless I'm doing something like podcast or editing, or doing some maybe some updates to my personal site if I'm writing a blog post or something.
Right.
But I won't really work on client work or work in the evenings or on the weekends.
Yeah, I think I need to get into that habit, but it's hard because when you're self-employed, it's it literally is a full-time shift that you're putting in and getting stuff done, and it's all on you. So you just got to persevere, and then I think once you're kind of managing it better, and you're able to find that time and space, and be able to spend that time with your family, go out, do stuff, things that are non-work related. But
because I suppose if you don't switch off and then something does come up, quite critical with one of your clients, if you don't fix it and the project doesn't come to a completion or something, you don't get paid. So whereas working for an agency, there's always another day where, to an extent, you can't just slack off, but there's an expectation that you're going to stop work at 5:30. And I've never had a client contact me after that. It just doesn't happen unless there's an absolute emergency. But then they normally go through the correct channels as well. They wouldn't come directly to me. They'd go via some project manager or some sort of support.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't have. But I'm thinking of getting that set up in some way, shape, or form. Where, because right now clients are able to call me. They drop me an email. Some of them drop me a WhatsApp message. I need to add this new page on the website. I need this landing page. I need you to upload a new price list on the page. I need it done now. And I'm like, mate, I'm out. It's not going to happen. So it's, it is crazy. So what I'm thinking of doing is setting up some kind of a support system or a ticketing channel on the website where, or even through Slack, like they'll just come through, put their requirement on there, and it'll be taken care of, as and when.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some sort of tools for a small scale tool like that out there. Where you can add something to your website. You just want to redirect your phone otherwise. Yeah. Redirect your number in the evenings. Get yourself one of those Batman red phones that flashes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that works, because, a lot of these guys do, they do take the mick, knowing that I will get stuff done for them as and when they ask. These are a lot of the older clients, the people I've been looking after for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah. So you set a precedent of actually doing it.
Exactly. And the thing is, they do pay. They do pay for the work to be done.
Yeah, as long as you're billing for that time, obviously it's still time, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, I think it just needs to be more transparent. That this is your window, and so ask the request in that window what will be taken care of the following day.
Yeah. Do you have overtime rates?
No, I've got to factor that in. I was thinking about that last night as I was leaving the office. Yeah, it is something I'm thinking about. Double the rate.
That could potentially deter people from actually contacting you out of hours as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that could work. I'll make a note of that.
So when you do finally get time to unwind, have you got anything that in particular that you like to do?
So I mentioned the football. So once a week we play a five-a-side game, fairly local. So last year, it's been going on and off for the last few years, but last year we had a good stint, and I think we were playing for a good few months, and then it kind of stopped and died out, and then everybody was just getting busy with their own thing. And these guys play other games as well, so some of them might be playing once or twice a week, but I made it a passion of mine. Like, I love football, I want to play five-a-side, and I want to get this game sorted out. So a few weeks ago, I just set up the group on WhatsApp, and I said to the guys, listen, this is the plan. We play either Tuesday or Thursday every week. Should pick a day. Let's get 10 people and play. And regardless if we get the numbers or not, we'll get a game arranged anyway. So yesterday we missed out on two players, so we played four-a-side, which is a bit of a killer for an hour, but we managed to get a game done. So that's one thing that I've got going now. So we've had, I think, 4 weeks now, and we haven't missed a game, so it's been pretty good. And then gym, I'm training at least 3 to 4 days a week. But again, due to work, I have to hit the gym like late. So I'm hitting the gym at about 9:30 p.m. So that's something that's there that helps me to unwind. Bit of DJing. I know you DJ as well, or you used to back in the day.
Used to, yeah.
And I went and invested in a little controller, and did a few parties last year, actually, some small functions, little house parties.
Okay.
And have a bit of fun with that, and have a little mix here and there. I enjoy doing that. I think the other bits and pieces that I'm doing, catching up on Netflix, watching the odd show, but I've not done that in a while. It has been a little while, and I do try to read as well. So whether that's a comic book or some biography, or it could be anything. I pick up anything really, and just start reading.
I kind of went off reading for a while. I'm just trying to get back onto it now. I started carrying my Kindle around a bit more and making sure that it's charged. I just really fell off the wagon for some reason. I used to read a lot, especially last year. But hopefully that's something to get back into now.
Yeah, I think with reading, you've got to really be you just got to be, your head's got to be clear. Depending on what you're reading, you want to absorb that and make sense of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not reading anything serious. I'm just reading either some sort of fiction or sometimes self-help sort of books, business books or finances and things like that. I'll read some of those. So those you do need to maybe focus a bit more. But for fiction, you can generally just sort of pick up and put it down whenever you want. And I've always found that I used to find it a chore to basically sit down and read, but having the Kindle with me, when I take it to work sometimes, or like just this week, I went abroad for work, and I took the Kindle with me, which I haven't done in the past. And while I'm sitting at the gate waiting for my flight, I managed to I probably got through about half of the book that I'm reading.
Right.
Over 2 days. So yeah, there you go. Make sure you get a Kindle and make sure you carry it if you've got one, or get the Kindle app on your phone or something.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's another device to carry around. So I've got I forgot the name of the app now on my phone, and I've got a few books on there, ebooks. World War Z, I've got on there, which is what that Brad Pitt film was based on, and it's a really good read. That is amazing. So you get so engrossed reading that. So that's something that I've been picking up and reading here and there. So yeah.
Is that the sort of thing you normally go for?
Yeah. that one's highly recommended by a few people that I know. So I picked it up and started reading, and I was like, it really blew my mind. That I like comic books as well, as I mentioned. I went to a Comic-Con recently and I picked up a few from there. So I've just been reading through those. Like the Marvel stuff, X-Men, Spider-Man, things like that. More so for the art, because I love the drawing in the comic books, but the stories can be really, really cool as well. So yeah, that's really cool. There was one self-help book I was reading. I picked it up when I think when me and my wife, we went on our honeymoon. It's called Clarity by Jamie Smart, and it's a bloody good read. But I find that this book needs serious concentration, because you've got to sit there and actually read, digest, understand, and kind of go through it again to get the message that's being passed on to you through that actual book. And it's a really powerful book, and I highly recommend it to a lot of people out there that want clarity in life. But you can apply it to anything you're doing in life. But it's a really good book. Jamie Smart, that's the author, and it's called Clarity. So yeah, definitely one for you guys out there who like reading.
Okay, yeah, I'm currently reading Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's pretty good. It's got some good general sort of advice on how to think and how to sort of channel your thought and your mind, and build up your confidence and sort of believe in yourself and things like that.
Yeah.
You could tell it's written a while ago. It's very, it's a very macho book, I suppose.
Right.
It talks about, the way it talks about men is as if they're superior.
Right. Okay.
Every example in the book is about it's from a man's point of view. There's no examples where the woman is going to be the one that's going to be progressing in her career, or just neutral. It never says a person. It'll always say a man. So it gets a bit like, oh, this is a bit heavy. I can't imagine everyone liking this book, but if you can overlook that, then the message is pretty decent.
Cool.
You get away much?
I try to. Where did we go? Just recently went to Dominican Republic. So got a week out there a couple of months ago. We try and do at least, we've been doing about 2 to 3 holidays a year. But it's getting harder now. It's getting tough.
Yeah, I haven't been on holiday for a while, just generally because of work and family, young kids and stuff like that. And plus we moved house. But the company I work for, they do encourage us to use up all of our holiday.
Right.
That we're allocated.
How much do you get? How many days?
About, I think it's 25 plus all the bank holidays. But they sort of encourage us to book those days throughout the year. So not everyone is taking off, the 2 weeks around Christmas time.
Yeah.
So I tend to just take off days here and there throughout the year, and sometimes I'll just have nothing else planned and I'll just sort of take the day off and sit at home and watch a bit of TV or something like that. Yeah, so I did that recently, and I just spent the day I was doing some decorating, so I just took off 2 days and just painted the house.
Right, right.
Yeah, because I like DIY, so that's one of my ways of unwinding, I guess, is to sort of tinker with things and fix things. And yeah, I've been watching a lot of woodworking videos on YouTube and Instagram recently.
Wow.
So I really feel like getting into woodworking, and been investing in some tools here and there. Got some chisels and got some sharpening stones for the chisels, and I've got saws and things like that already. And I bought a little workbench to clamp things into. And because we moved into the house, I ended up getting a lot of wooden pallets from the deliveries, like when we got our bathroom done and when we've received like slabs for our patio and things like that. Yeah. So I just held on to all this pallet wood. And my plan is, once the weather gets a bit better, because it's always raining here, to just get out in the garden and just build some stuff in the garden out of this pallet wood.
Nice.
So yeah, just something a bit more hands-on, something away from the computer, something where you don't need to look at a screen, and you've got a physical product at the end of it. So just small things, like I've started making this like a tea light holder.
Okay.
So it's basically a couple of strips of wood with some holes in them, a few holes in the top one, glued onto the bottom one.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. But it looks, quite rustic, and it looks handmade, because it is handmade, obviously. But it looks like the sort of thing that you might find on Etsy and spend £30 on.
I do like that kind of stuff. I do. I'm actually planning on doing so the loft that I'm in at the moment. The floor's like it's like a standard wooden kind of finish. And what I want to do is give it a aged kind of look. So I want to strip it down, paint it white and grey, and give it that worn kind of rustic kind of feel. Yeah. So I have found a couple of YouTube videos which explain how to do that process. And there's one sort of like a hack way of doing it, and then there's the proper way to do it. So it's about figuring out, what's most cost effective and time effective as well, because while I'm doing it, there's no bed to sleep on. So that'd be something to, look up, I think. But yeah, if you know anything about that, might get you down here, innit? Help out.
Yeah, not at the moment, but I've subscribed to a few good YouTube channels, woodworking ones. So I could probably send you the links for those.
Yeah, send them over, man. It'd be helpful.
Yeah, and they're not very serious woodworking. They're a bit more casual.
Right.
Like doable projects. DIY projects. They're not professional projects. They're like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind making like a bird table or like a little bird house or something.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Beginner projects. That's what they are. Most of them, anyway.
Yeah, I remember my dad made one years ago, and it's still in the garden, and it's really cool the way he's done it, and it's on the side of the fence, and because one side is a brick wall and the other side is a wooden fence, and the whole fence and the birdhouse has been painted like a really nice dark green color. So it's all camouflage, and there's some growth, some foliage all around it, and so it's kind of hidden away, and it's being used by birds. That's the crazy thing. It's
nice, isn't it? It's nice to do something like that and build something with your hands, and then have a product at the end of it.
Yeah,
the sort of work that we do. All right, we are building things. We're building digital products, but there's something nice about just getting your hands dirty, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Like even cooking or something like that.
Oh, cooking, yeah. My wife will say that I don't cook, but I do, and
just not when she's around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. When she's not around, and I'm fully involved, and I do quite a lot of meal prep. All right, it doesn't involve a lot, but grilling chicken, but putting the sauce together, the herbs and spices and things like that. But yeah, I like to spend more time doing it. Definitely, I've got quite a few recipe books that I want to go through. I've got a Moroccan one that my mum picked up actually, so that would be really nice to go through that and see what we can do. I've got African cookbook as well, so got variation. And coming from a Punjabi household, there's a never-ending list of ingredients in the cupboards, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What about in terms of you said that you do work in the evenings as well, but do you sort of do self-learning as well as a way of unwinding, not necessarily for the job? Do you go to any meetups or conferences or anything like that?
I think was it last year I went to a couple of meetups. They weren't nothing huge. I mean, it was just like organized through like local sort of like groups that I found like in the Ealing area. And a friend of mine invited me to a couple in central London. I think once I went to Shoreditch, and they did very, very casual ones as well. So they weren't very, sit down, listen to a speaker and kind of, and there's a workshop or anything like that. It was pretty much grab a drink, sit down, have a chit chat with people around you, introduce yourself, like a networking kind of session, but also explore, what each person's kind of working on, what tools they're using, and, get some, advice on how to get involved with those kind of tools and, things like that. So yeah, nothing, hardcore, but I'd like to go to those kind of events. But at home in the evenings, I am picking up JavaScript and the various, JavaScript libraries that are out there. and trying to kind of work with more WordPress sort of manipulation of templates and PHP, APIs, working with APIs. Done a few projects recently, but I got someone else on board to help out with that kind of stuff. So while that was going on, I was kind of learning at the same time. So just reading the, WordPress REST API documentation, trying to understand the process behind it, how it works, what you can achieve with it. And there's some projects that I'm working on at the moment which involves a lot of learning as well. So it's constantly going on, and I do find myself spending that evening time doing it.
Yeah. I think that's a more acceptable way of spending your evening if you are going to be sitting at your laptop.
Yeah.
As long as you're, if you're learning and you're stimulating your mind and just filling it with knowledge, it doesn't have to be about a particular project. And it's a good way of just breaking out of that zone where you're thinking about your current project.
Yeah.
Just to have a change of scenery and change of pace. If you start learning about, say, a completely different language, like you're saying now, you're focusing on JavaScript, which you probably didn't. Did you not work on it before much? But
it was there, and I picked up bits and pieces of it, and I was able to kind of debug and but actually sitting down, understanding it, and using it in scenarios.
Yeah,
that's something.
Yeah, that's just going to get your juices flowing. So when you do get back into your work mode the following day, at least you've got that frame of mind and that sort of discovery mind, haven't you?
Exactly. And it's a small thing. So when I'm working on a project in WordPress, I want a simple bit of functionality where I don't want to install a plugin to achieve it.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, I can easily do this using, a bit of jQuery and just put something together. And it's not going to take me, too much time to do it. So why not learn it? And when I get into a scenario like that, I can approach it that way and solve these problems, without having to rely on all these, plugins.
Do you listen to music a lot while you're working?
I do. I'm currently listening to, I like my drum and bass, but recently I've been listening to this playlist on Spotify. I've just called it Mellow Beats, but it's full of all kinds of stuff. It's old school classic kind of 1940s kind of stuff. And
is this a playlist that you've created?
No. I think it's a playlist already on there. And I'll send you a link to it, but it's really nice and mellow, and it's just so chilled out to work to. I find myself, getting into a zone and just getting stuff done. There's no lyrics involved either. And I find when there's anything with lyrics involved, I just get, completely distracted. I start focusing on the lyrics and I lose my attention on the work, and, my head's all over the place. So instrumental kind of stuff helps me a lot.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I don't often listen to music while I'm working anymore. I used to. But when I do, I tend to listen to a lot of film music, like film scores, just orchestral. And it creates a bit of a pace as well. I find that because film music is generally fairly varied, you'll have, some fairly energetic pieces, and then you'll have some quite sort of mellow and quiet pieces. It just changes the flow of while you're working as well. And obviously it very rarely has any lyrics. So I tend to listen to orchestral music wherever I can, or sometimes I'll listen to some house or something like that, which is quite repetitive.
Yeah, the progressive stuff.
I feel it creates a bit of a rhythm while you're working. But otherwise, when I'm not working, I tend to mainly listen to other podcasts, really. Some of them are music related. A lot of them are tech related.
Right.
Some comedy ones.
Cool.
I listen to Hip Hop Saved My Life, but that's one of my favorites. But it's on hold at the moment. They've just finished what they're calling season 1. Season 1 seem to have lasted 3 years, but they're basically just taking a break from the podcast. So it should be back soon.
I do find myself on YouTube quite a lot, and I follow some of the gamers that are on there.
Okay, yeah.
So there's this guy called the Rad Brad, and he's like probably one of the biggest followings on there. And so what he does is he'll pick up a game, or the publishers will send him like an exclusive, and he'll play that game from start to finish, the story mode, and the story campaign. And like some of these games are so immersive. Like for example, Days Gone, which just came out I think last month, and it's like an apocalyptic kind of zombie biker game where you go around with your friend on your motorbike and you basically just got to survive and complete all these missions. But it's got a massive story around it.
Yeah.
And so he's been playing that. So while I'm watching him, I've got my headphones on, I'm watching him play. It's like you're watching a TV show.
Yeah.
Because there's a narrative behind it and there's acting going on, and he doesn't say much. He just lets it sort of flow. And it's brilliant. It's just like watching a TV show. So I love watching his videos. They're crazy.
Okay.
Especially those kind of games, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a massive gamer myself, but I do like playing Legend of Zelda series.
Yeah.
So obviously, like the most recent one, Breath of the Wild. And I haven't been watching people play the game. I tend to watch like short clips of people doing tricks or completing certain tasks, rather than a full playthrough, because obviously that game is huge, and be sitting there for months watching most people play.
Exactly.
So yeah, I watch some things like that on YouTube now and then, but I find them they're too distracting to have on while I'm working, so I'll just leave those for like a lunch break or something like that.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Do you do anything while you're actually working though? Do you put in any measures to ensure that you do get some time to yourself? Like, do you have prioritization of your tasks, or?
I do. It depends. So if I'm lucky enough to have a day where, a couple of days where I'm focusing on one particular project, then yeah, I get to, prioritizations there. And as soon as, those tasks are off my list, I will have time to,
Yeah. Would you, if you had 10 things on your list and you completed them quite quickly, would you then call it a day, or would you just start adding more on?
This is it. Yeah. So I'd probably crack on with some of my personal work, maybe do some bit of learning for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm lucky enough, I might pull out the drawing tablet and just do some sketches or, something like that. But more often than not, I will end up, Googling things with regards to, API development and learning more JavaScript, things like that. Because I've always found myself on like Stack Overflow and Stack Exchange and those kind of websites, and picking up, tips from people who've solved, issues for other people, and then applying that, where I can. So I'm trying to get as much time as possible on that learning, because I find it helps when you're doing it consistently enough and you're practicing regularly. It sticks, and and it just becomes so easy to just do it when you're called to do it in a project. So I think it's really important, because I find if I come off it and I don't do any kind of learning with anything, and then I find myself falling behind. Then I've got to pick up references and start learning again, and it does become painful.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just can't get away from it.
Nah, it's hard. It really is. But I am conducting interviews next week. So I'm interviewing for a front-end web designer developer. And I've got 3 people that I've shortlisted. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'll be interviewing these guys. And hopefully one of these people will be on board and
give you a bit more free time.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Offload some work to them. Yeah.
100%. That's the plan.
All right, wicked.
Yeah,
so how are you going to unwind this weekend then? What you got planned?
So after this podcast, I've got an hour. So I think I'm going to spend that hour doing a bit of learning. I've got a little. I've got a task in front of me right now. Actually, I'm looking at that. I want to try and do. So I want to build a little drop down on a WordPress site. Use a bit of jQuery, and then try and talk to the database and pull some information from it and display it on another page. So with that, I want to work on the next hour, see how much of that I can get done. And after that, I'm free. Literally going to meet some friends of mine who I'm involved with another project that I'm working on. And we're just literally unwinding, having a few drinks and some food. And this weekend's going to be fairly chilled out as well. How about yourself? What's your plans for the weekend?
Well, this weekend I've got a wedding to attend to on Saturday, and then seeing some family on Sunday in the morning. Helping my brother-in-law build a shed,
Nice.
so a bit of DIY. And then I'm currently learning. Me and my daughter, we've both started learning the piano. So
Nice.
I've learned piano before a long time ago. So I'm having refresher lessons, but she's learning from scratch. So we're having lessons together. So we have a lesson on Sunday.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and then it's just gonna be kid stuff, finish off their homework and get them ready for Monday and stuff like that, and then get ready for Monday again for work.
Yeah, bloody hell.
So not a very busy one. It's just mainly the wedding that's on Saturday. That's gonna be an all-day thing, and then on Sunday, depending on the weather, there'll be some outdoor DIY, building a shed.
Yeah, from the weather, it looks like it's going to be pretty clear, I think, for the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, it should be all right. I've got my birthday next week, so hopefully we got a clean one, man.
Well, we'll have to do a special episode for your birthday then.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that'd be cool.
Yeah, you could talk about your ideal gift list, wish list.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
Cool tech.
Yeah.
That you'd like for your birthday.
Bloody hell. I've got a list already, man. I could share that on there.
Well, we could do that. Yeah, that's it. That's the plan for next week.
Brilliant.
Well, that's the plan for sometime in the future, depending on when you're listening to this one. It might not be next week. Don't know what order these are going to be released in yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Look out for that episode then. You might see some good tech. All right. Brilliant. Right. I think that's a good place to leave it. And anything else you want to recommend before we go? Anything you're watching, listening to?
I was watching The Man in the High Tower, and I highly recommend that series on
Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Brilliant. I can't remember what episode I'm on now, but season 1, episode 4 or 5 or something, but it is bloody good. And the other ones, which I watched a while ago, Ozark and Narcos, I highly recommend watching those two.
Okay.
Really good. And then the classics, if you haven't already seen them, Sopranos, Sons of Anarchy, and my favorite, X-Files. You can't mess with those 3. They've got to be probably my all-time best 3 out there.
Yeah, but the X-Files, yeah, obviously was a brilliant series, but I can't imagine myself sitting down to sort of binge it anymore.
You say that, but...
Maybe. It's the sort of thing that if it's on, I'll watch it. It's a bit like Friends, isn't it? When it's on, you don't mind just sitting down and watching it, no matter what, is it?
I was like that when it first aired on TV in the 90s. And I missed quite a lot of episodes like that. So going back to it, over the last few years, I'm able to just binge the whole thing, and I'm cool. It is good.
Is it available to stream anywhere at the moment?
No. You have to buy the episodes, I think.
Buy them? What's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could stream it. There's loads of different streaming sites, but
yeah, I'll get them from somewhere.
Yeah, you'll find them.
Yeah, we've just finished watching season 4 of a show called How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay, yeah.
Which is on Netflix. It's good. Season 5 is out apparently, but it's not on Netflix at the moment. It's not anywhere in the UK, so I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for that one. But it's a good show. It's about a bunch of law students and their professor and how they...
Right, yeah. I saw the trailer for this, yeah.
Yeah, and basically the professor's husband dies quite close to the beginning of the series. And it's just about how the students get caught up in that murder,
right,
or death, this mysterious death, how it happened, how they get caught up in it, and then from there it just spirals out of control. Their lives just go crazy. But it's a good series. It's pretty engrossing.
Yeah, I'll put that on the list.
Yeah, that's on Netflix at the moment.
I'd say anything true crime as well.
True crime.
Anything true crime.
I need to see the 3rd season of True Detective.
Brilliant.
3rd one, yeah, it's good?
Yeah. Really
because second one was okay. First one was obviously brilliant.
Yeah.
Second one was okay. So I'm hoping that it redeems itself now.
Yeah.
And season 5 of Black Mirror has just come out as well, so...
I couldn't get into it. I started watching the first one.
Oh, no.
Episode 1, 2, it was slow, and I was like, I just can't do it.
To be honest, I think the very first episode, the one with the Prime Minister,
yeah,
I think that was one of the worst. So don't judge the whole series on that.
Right, okay.
Get into it, because some of them are just brilliant.
I want to get into it because the stories in it are very similar to what I found in X-Files. So you'll get your one-off kind of, episodes, which could be about, about vampires, about werewolves, or aliens. But then there's an actual story arc, and it kind of connects everything together. But this is what I'm thinking of. I can get into Black Mirror, but that first one was really bad.
Well, Black Mirror, they are all individual episodes, but there is one towards the end of, I think it's end of season 4, which ties a lot of the previous episodes together.
Right.
Features little elements of those previous episodes, suggesting that they all happen in the same universe.
Right.
But there's no continuation between episodes.
Okay.
The last one of season 4 is called Black Museum.
Right.
And it shows little elements of all the rest, which is a good episode as well. And then there's the film, wasn't there, Bandersnatch, which I haven't seen.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
So I'm going to check out Series 5 now, probably next. That'll be the next thing.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, good stuff.
Nice one.
A few good recommendations there. Things to catch up on. All right. Any last words?
Just have a good weekend to everyone out there, man.
Nice one. Good. Positive vibes.
Yeah.
All right. You can find all the notes from today's episode on the website, inspect.fm, or in your podcast player, and we will catch you in the next episode.